Hey, I'm the one James from ProdigyGames.com, and I'm here to tell you about the Pro Tour that just happened for Modern Horizons 3, what decks to look out for in the future of Modern Horizons 3 before the new sets come out, and some sweet decks that you might want to build going forward. As always, you can get 5% off of anything in the store at ProdigyGames.com/the1Jame by using code the1Jame at checkout. With that said, let's go ahead and get into the decks. The most popular deck played at the Pro Tour is Bant Nadu. Bant Nadu is a brand new combo strategy that tries to assemble Nadu, Winged Wisdom, and Shuko. Shuko targets your creatures for 0 mana, allowing Nadu's ability to happen for each creature you control. This yields a lot of free cards. Each land put onto the battlefield by Nadu enters untapped and triggers Springheart and Tuco, creating another 1/1 creature that can get targeted by Shuko twice again. Once you get going, you can easily draw your entire deck. You can even play a fresh Nadu to reset the twice per turn counter along the way. Eventually, you'll use Thassa's Oracle or a convoluted Endurance Loop to win the game. Second most popular is Ruby Storm. This one actually underperformed a lot with only 30-something% entering day 2, and 0 of this entering top 8, even though it was the second most played deck. Ruby Storm is a new combo strategy based around Ruby Medallion and Ral Monsoon Mage from Modern Horizons 3. With either of these cards on the battlefield, Pyretic Ritual and Desperate Ritual cost only 1 mana and add 3 mana, unlocking a huge mana boost. The cost of Reckless Impulse and Rend Resolve is also reduced, allowing you to rapidly sift through your deck for 1 mana. The plan is to cast numerous spells in a single turn at a reduced cost, do it all over again with Past in Flames, and flash it back from the graveyard and finish the job with a lethal Grape Shot. Jesky Control with 1 copy in the top 8, 22 players playing this deck. Jesky Control features spot removal, counter magic, card draw, sweepers, everything you can expect in a control deck, and the powerful new Flage Titan of Fire's Fury to stabilize and win the game. The deck also exploits an energy package from Modern Horizons 3 with Tune the Narrative, Galvanic Discharge, and Wrath of the Skies. The feature that distinguishes Jesky Control from other Jesky decks is that it uses at least 3 copies of the One Ring or Memory Deluge to net card advantage and support the control plan. Combination of the One Ring, Memory Deluge, and Flage is a lot to get past, and Jesky Control ended up doing very well. Mono Black Necro Dominance is played as well. It features cheap, efficient interaction to trade resources in the early game before refilling your entire hand with Necro Dominance. Unlike the original Necropotence, this new enchantment actually draws the cards, so you can almost double your life total with Shields of the Apocalypse while sculpting the perfect 5-card hand. There's also an opportunity to cast spells in between drawing cards and discarding the hand size, so you can pay an exorbitant amount of life, pitch loads of cards to March of Wretched Sorrow or Soul Spike, and pass the turn at a higher life total than you started with. Next up on the list is Eldrazi. Eldrazi exploits Ugin's Labyrinth from Modern Horizons 3, which can imprint Devourer of Destiny or All Is Dust to get access to 2 mana on turn 1. Along with Eldrazi Temple and the trio of Urza lands, this deck ramps into enormous amounts of colorless mana early on. All Eldrazi decks sink their mana into Karn the Great Creator, the One Ring, and Kozilek's Command. There also is another Nadu variant, a 4-color variety. It's basically Bant Nadu, splashing for Orcish Bowmasters or Thoughtseize. Fascinatingly, many Nadu Winged Wisdom decks at the Pro Tour have shaved Thassa's Oracle and are instead employing Endurance Loops as their win condition. The ones in 4-color Nadu are easiest to explain. If your library consists of 4 lands while you bestowed Springheart and Tuco on both Endurance and Orcish Bowmasters, then you can target 4 Insect tokens with Shuko, use the 4 lands to create copies of Orcish Bowmasters and Endurance, sacrifice them to Sylvan's Safekeeper, and have Endurance return them to your library. You can loop to create infinite Orcish Bowmasters copies to deal infinite damage. Next up is Boros Energy. Boros Energy is a mid-range deck that makes most of the energy mechanic brought back into Modern Horizons 3, combining cards like Guide of Souls, Amped Raptor, Galvanic Discharge, Unstable Amulet, and Static Prison. With this powerful suite of cards, you can always spend energy on the most fruitful way possible for the game at hand, while the early drop creatures put considerable amount of pressure on the opponent. Next up is Jess Sky Wizards. Like Sky Control, Sky Wizards features Flage Titan of Fire's Fury, along with the energy package of Tune the Narrative, Galvanic Discharge, and Wrath of the Skies. You'll hear us talking about that a lot in this video. The feature that distinguishes Sky Wizards from other Sky decks is that it runs Tamiyo, Inquisitive Student, and Snapcaster Mage to enable Flame of Anor. On turn 4, you could cast Tamiyo and immediately transform her into a Planeswalker form by drawing cards with Flame of Anor, which is a powerful line of play. In her Planeswalker form, Tamiyo has a powerful defensive ability and an easy-to-reach game-winning ultimate. Also, the minus also allows you to add Flame of Anor back from your graveyard to your hand to gain additional card advantage throughout the game. Mono Black Grief was played by 6 players, but it did fairly well at the tournament for the representation that it had. The dream for Mono Black Grief is to evoke Grief on turn 1, discard the opponent's Galvanic Discharge with the evoke trigger still on the stack, return it with Not Dead After All. Roughly 1 in every 7 of the deck's opening hands are capable of this dreaded sequence, and it results in a 4/3 menace with another discard trigger attached. A new addition to the strategy from Modern Horizons 3 is Netherglyph, which grows when Mistros Bauble or Urza Saga hit the graveyard. Next up is Jeskai Dressdown, which is also similar to the Jsky Control or Jeskai Wizards deck, but Jeskai Dressdown stands out because it uses at least 3 copies of Dressdown along with multiple copies of Null Drifter. Dressdown makes it so that you won't be able to sacrifice a 3-mana Flage or Null Drifter, allowing you to build an enormous threat at a reduced cost. Alternatively, the sacrifice trigger can be countered by Consign to Memory, so Null Drifter can consistently annihilate opponents early on. The benefit of this deck is that since you're playing Dressdown in your main deck and you're playing more copies of Dressdown than normal decks are, you have a better matchup against Nadu Winged Wisdom decks than some of the other decks do. Cruel Eldrazi is the next on the list. It leverages Eldrazi Temple and Ugin's Labyrinth, similar to Eldrazi Tron, for a quick mana boost, wrapping into powerful mid-game Eldrazi and top-end spells. The killing blow, as well as the deck's unique twist, is to use Through the Breach to sneak in Emrakul Aeon's Torn, which will attack with Annihilator 6 the turn you play it. The Pro Tour metagame is dominated by combo strategies. Last week, Ruby Storm and Bant Nadu already seemed to be promising. After an additional week of testing, these 2 decks are on the top of the Pro Tour metagame between Bant, 4-color, and Devoted Nadu. Nearly 26% of the field will try to assemble the combo of Nadu Winged Wisdom and Shuko. With Ruby Storm and other combo strategies also being well represented, many games at the Pro Tour might end as early as turn 3. Modern has been evolving very rapidly, with decks falling out of favor that used to be at the top of Modern. These are the decks you're probably not going to see at the top tables in your tournaments coming up soon in Modern Horizons 3. Decks like Living End, Yawgmoth, Amulet Titan, and Jund Saga are all falling to the wayside to these new and upcoming powerful decks. Seems like Modern Horizons 3 is the way to go to build future decks in Modern. Happy deck building, and as always, you can get these cards and more at prodigygames.com/the1jam by clicking the link down in the description below and using code the1jam at checkout. Happy building, and I'll see you next time. And as always, peace.